These coconut cream bites, they are delicious. They are dipped in just a little bit of chocolate, and they remind me of these delicious cream milky ones my grandmother used to make years ago. So let me show you how I made these. So here I have a heavy-duty wooden spoon. It's the best one to use for this recipe. I have a heavy bottom skillet. And it doesn't have to be nonstick. This one is not nonstick, it'll work. And what you're gonna need is a whole can of full-fat coconut milk. I know I'm obsessed with coconut milk things. It's delicious. And I'm just gonna pretty much add all of my ingredients for this recipe in this pan. What I'm adding here is my sweetener. I'm using a powdered sweetener, which I usually like the best, which is the Swerve. So I just went ahead and added that in there. If you have another powdered sweetener that you want to use, you feel free to do that. That's just the one that I like. This is some coconut flakes that are unsweetened. You can add more coconut flakes if you like. I just added a little bit. It's as much as I like. This is coconut flour that I'm putting in there as well. And this is just a small amount of this brown sugar Stevia blend, which I'm also obsessed with. It's really good. I like that. So I went and added that. You always want to have a little bit of salt. This is some pink salt that I added to the recipe. And there I'm just turning on the stove. I hadn't turned it on. And I usually start it right off at the medium heat. I also like to use my stevia, my liquid stevia that I get at Trader Joe's. It's a combination of the stevia and the Swerve powder sweetener that really gives it that nice sweet but not too sweet taste. So I used 2 dropperfuls, and that's going to be to taste. And you always want to use a little bit of salt when you're using the stevia to offset the little bit of bitterness that stevia can give you. So all of this in the pan, you just pretty much start stirring it up with the wooden spoon. And another reason why I like the wooden spoon is because this mixture gets really hot. You're going to stand there and you're going to cook it. This is one of those recipes that you're not going to walk away from, otherwise it'll burn. So I like the wooden spoon. It's heavy, and it'll help you so that you don't accidentally burn yourself, or the heat doesn't get you. So I forgot to add my vanilla, so that's what I'm doing here now. Just adding in my vanilla, and that's also to taste. So I went ahead and added that, and then you're just gonna stir it. Just start stirring it little by little, combining. If you see any lumps, then you can use the spoon to break them up. So here I'm showing you that I have had this mixture on the stove top at medium heat a good probably 6 to 8 minutes. This is going to go quickly because that's why I'm using the pan, a heavy duty large pan, so that you don't have to stand there too long. You can use a smaller pan, but then it's going to take longer because you don't have enough surface space. So this is what I do. I just stand there and I stir it up while it bubbles away. And it just starts getting nice and creamy because, of course, the milk and the sugar and everything just starts thickening everything up. And the coconut flour also helps with that. So you're just going to continue to stir it. Again, you're not going to walk away from it. And if you think it's getting too hot where it's, it's like bubbling too much and you're not sure if it's going to maybe spill over, then you can always lower the heat a little bit. But I kept it pretty much at that medium heat. And here I'm showing you again as it's getting thicker. And this is what you're going to see. At this point, it's probably been about 10 minutes. And you can see it's thickening up. Showing you that I have it at medium heat since the beginning. And it smells delicious at this point once everything comes together. Okay, so here's what you're looking for. This is how far you want to take this coconut milk mixture. You want it to coat the pan, and you want to be able to just kind of bring it together into almost like a very pancakey batter consistency. And as you can see here, it just kind of starts falling off the spoon. You pick it up and it slowly falls off the spoon. So you can bring it, at this point, you bring it to like the lowest temperature, and you want to cook it just for maybe another 2 minutes. And then you're ready to get these on this pan right here. And I'm using one of those silk mats that's non-stick. These are great. If you don't have one of those, you can just use parchment paper and it'll work exactly the same. So off the heat, you take this off the heat, and you want to get 2 spoons. I'm just using like small regular spoons. So depending on how big you want them, these are, just kind of like maybe 2 bite size. Not 1 bite, but 2 bites. And so I'm using 1 spoon to get the amount that I want, and the other spoon to help it get on the surface that I'm going to set them on. And you're just going to, give them a little bit of room. Obviously, they're not going to grow or anything like that, but you want to separate them so that they have their own space, just a little bit. And you're just going to do this until you have all 16 of them. That's how many this recipe will give you. If you make them bigger, obviously, you're going to get less of these bites. You're going to set them in the fridge and let them cool because, they're still going to be a little soft at this point. You can actually just eat them like that if you like, but I like to have them set because, see, they're still a little soft. And I usually leave them overnight, but you want to leave them in the fridge for at least a couple of hours. And what I'm going to do to just jazz them up a little bit is melt some dark chocolate, and I just have some boiling water. Just simmering water, and I put like a small ceramic plate on top. And here I'm going to be using the Lily's dark baking chocolate, which is really good. But if you don't have that, you can use that other one, that baker's chocolate, or any dark chocolate that you prefer. And I'm using about 2 ounces, not that much. But of course, if you want to use more chocolate, you can. It's up to you. So what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and make sure you have equal size or roughly equal size pieces broken up in there so that they will melt uniformly and at the same time. So you're just going to kind of stir it up a little bit. This is really quick. And you don't have to do this. I just wanted to add a little bit of chocolate, like a little bit of another flavor, because I love chocolate and coconut. And just stir it until it melts. See right here, it's completely melted. And I've taken my tray of the coconut bites out of the fridge, and I'm going to go ahead and put some chocolate on them. You can drizzle the chocolate on top if you like. I like, what I ended up doing is I drizzled some chocolate on some of them, but on some other ones, I did what I'm doing here, what I'm showing you here, which is just dunking half of the bite of the coconut bites into the chocolate. So that way you get like half coconut only and then half coconut and chocolate. And I love that combination. It's delicious. So I just put them on its side. At this point, they're completely set. They're not falling apart. And they stay together pretty well. See, I did half. So it almost looks like a black and white cookie effect. That's what I was thinking when I was doing that. And you just want to go ahead and use your chocolate as evenly as possible on these. And then when you do that, you just set them back on the tray. And you want to let the chocolate set once you do this. So what you'll do is, once you're done doing that, you'll set them back in the refrigerator to set for a little bit. The chocolate will set pretty quick, so you won't have to wait long to eat these after you put the chocolate on them. And these are delicious, delicious. Like I said, they do remind me of these milk bites, sweet milk bites that my grandmother used to make on the stovetop. But she used to use condensed milk and regular milk, so these are a little twist off of that, and they're delicious as well. So here they are. You can see some of them are drizzled with chocolate and some of them are just half and half.